Yeah, there's really so many people that aren't using blockchain right now,
Yeah.
but that's not surprising because we've studied the diffusion of innovation curve, right? And so like I draw this out all the time. You've got this bell curve, and on this end, you've got the innovators.
Yeah.
Then you've got the early adopters. Then you've got the early majority. Then you got the late majority. Then you have the laggards. And so what we've come to, if you look this up, actually I saw some more updated figures that basically were saying like 8% of Americans are using crypto right now,
Yeah.
but even if we were to say 13%, the innovators make up 2.5%. The early adopters make up 13.5%. I think this is like 34%, 34%. And the laggards is whatever's left. I can't add 13%. And so like, 2.5 plus 13.5 is 16%. So it's reasonable to assume we're like somewhere in here.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so it's no wonder a lot of real estate investors aren't paying attention to this. So why do you think that is? And who should be paying attention to this right now?
Yeah. I think a lot of the investors in my circles that aren't paying attention to this don't understand it. They don't understand the technology. They don't constantly discuss it and talk about it like we do. That adoption curve and that diffusion of innovation is brilliant. And the last figures that I heard, they were comparing this crypto phase and this blockchain phase with the internet, right? When everything went crazy in the .com, and they said that this was going at almost 10 times the speed as that.
I heard that too.
And so it's coming. It's going to be here. And who can use it in real estate? I think everybody. From fractionalizing real estate as someone who has a fund to be able to do that and tokenize real estate. I think that's the most brilliant part of it. That's what I use with my company. To the investor who might not have the huge down payment, but still wants the upside of real estate, they would want to do this. I think even eventually, this is going to go into fix and flippers to where they're going to be able to buy tokens for real estate hard money loans. You know what I mean? And they'll be able to participate in that and even participate in their own loans if they only have a little bit of money to lessen that debt service. But I think this is for everybody eventually. And it just stretches right out of the real estate world into everyday life. So.
Yes, I agree with that. One of the things that we talked about too was like, what's it going to take for more people, for this idea to diffuse? And we kept bringing it back to safety. Like there has to be clarity provided by the government. Like we have to understand what are the rules of engagement? How do we play this game? I know we've talked about the example of the FAA and the airplane. What came first, the airplane or the FAA? Well, the airplane came first. The innovation comes first. But like, would you have gotten on an airplane in 1920? Probably not, right?
Maybe.
Maybe. There's a few of us who would have because we're crazy enough to be like, this is so innovative, I have to do it. But for mass adoption, there has to be safety. The FAA had to come in and make a bunch of rules, define the playing field. Here's how we're all going to stay safe. And here's how a bunch of metal is not going to fall out of the sky and kill people. Crypto's dangerous, right? Doing this stuff is dangerous. In order to move across this spectrum and into the early majority, we feel like safety is probably the biggest catalyst. Do you agree?
Oh, yeah. It is the Wild West right now. And we need that SEC sheriff to come in and kind of define the terms and, what is what. It's like what's going on with XRP right now. What is the security,
Exactly.
So I think once they define that, it's going to really solidify what we can do. But I'm enjoying the Wild West right
Me
now.
too. Well, there's just more opportunity,
fun.
right? There's a ton of opportunity.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind if it stays like this for a while, but I understand the need for laws and regulation.
Right. So the folks who might want to get into crypto now are the folks who understand the power of this technology, right? Even if you know nothing about it, to learn some of the basics, right? It's like if you could understand what the internet was in the early 90s, let's say, you were positioned so well, it's hard to lose getting in that early, right? It doesn't mean that every bet's going to win. It just means that we are so far ahead that as this continues to diffuse, as more safety comes into the market, it's the people who are involved early who are going to figure this out. We intend to be those people, right?
Absolutely. We're there.
Yep. Cool. So thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. And if you guys want to learn more about any of the stuff that we're talking about here, you can go to blockchainwhales.com and check out some of the free resources we've got there. And so anyways, thanks for joining today, Doug. I really appreciate it.